Hi, I'm Brandon Reyes with Through Ball Release and AXCEL Sights, and we got our new Accutouch here. We've just taken it out of the package and we're going to mount it on our bow. We're going to start from the top, from mounting the bow mount bracket to the side of the bow, all the way through the leveling, the windage, the gang elevation, picking a sight scale, and setting our AccuClicks to our feel and location for our when we're sighting in our sight. So the first thing we're going to do when we get our package is mount our bow mount bracket to the side of the bow. You'll see that I have chosen the Pro for my bow, so I want to mount the bow mount bracket directly to the side of it, and this has the dovetail bar here, so just make sure everything's nice and tight and snugged up real good there. The next thing we're going to do, I'm a right-handed person, but just in case if you're a left-handed person out there and you just purchased the Accutouch sight, it's very simple to change the sight from a right hand to a left hand. It comes right-handed in the package, but there's two mounting screws on the front of the sight. It's a 632, most commonly found in most of your Allen packs. So you can take the front head off, flip it 180 degrees, and in doing so, you're also going to have to take your scope out and also flip it 180 degrees, and then move your level bubble from top to bottom. This will make the sight left-handed. So for a right-handed person, it comes in the package already set for right-handed, so we're ready to slide the bar onto the bow mount bracket and set our first axis. So I've got my location picked out here. I'm going to tighten my sight real good, make sure it's nice and snug, and now I'm ready to go into my axis leveling. The first axis, what we're going to do is we're actually leveling this bar, or we're going to level the elevation bar to the bowstring. So I've got an HTM leveling device set up here on my table, and it's very important that this is level to the table. Otherwise it's going to throw everything off as far as our bubbles are concerned. So I've already pre-leveled it, so we're ready to go there. I've got a L-shaped level with bubbles going in a horizontal and vertical direction. This is going to mount directly onto the bowstring, and I like to keep it as close to the knock point or the D-loop as possible. There's a channel in the bubble to make sure that it's exactly perpendicular to the bowstring and the level. So now what I'm going to do is go through and make sure my levels are level both horizontal and vertically, and I've got a lever here to do it. And then I've also, where I've mounted the bow into the stabilizer hole, I can actually cant my bow right or left to bring the bubble into center for both directions. So now I'm level horizontal and vertically, just a little off. And you'll notice that small movements make a big difference on this type of leveling. So now I've got a bubble, and this is just a medicine stone square level machined aluminum piece with a bubble in the middle of it. And now I'm going to go to the head of the sight and make sure that the head of the sight is level to my bowstring. So I've got my wrenches here, and I like to put this level directly onto the rail. So in doing so, I can see that I'm a little bit off, so I'm going to have to adjust the two first axis screws in the head of the sight. So I'm going to loosen the two. This allows me to cant the head of the sight. And we will set our first axis. All right. Now I can twist the head of the sight. Where my level is true, and then snug it up. Okay. First axis is set. Now we're going to move on to the second axis. I got to come around to the opposite side here. This particular wrench comes with your sight. So now I'm going to adjust the second axis to where my bubble is in the center, and just loosen those two second axis screws, which are illustrated in your instruction manual. And this allows you to turn the sight up and down like this. I've got it way out of whack here, so to show you, I'm going to bring it slowly back in with the second. It's nice to keep one of the screws a little bit snug so it moves slower. And it looks like I'm pretty close there. And this is all this axis leveling is very important when you're shooting longer distances or shooting from an elevated tree stand, to ensure that that bubble's kept in the middle, so your accuracy is straight up and down, perfect, left and right at all those distances and all those angles. So now we've got our second axis set, and we're going to move on to the third axis. The third axis requires us, and that's the reason I love this HTM leveling device, is to move our bow at a 45-degree angle forward and backward to set the third axis. So this particular axis is important, very important to pay attention to, and to make sure that you don't touch the bow when you move it forward, because you don't have the reference of the front bubble to go off of. So I'm going to camp my bow 45 degrees forward. And you'll notice when we do close-up of this that the bubble slightly moved, so our third axis is just a little bit off. So again, we get our 632 wrench, and we're going to loosen the third axis screw, which there's one of, as opposed to two in the second axis. And this movement in and out is what sets our third axis. So I moved it slowly in and out here, and at a 45-degree angle, I got my level bubble in the center now. So now, if I go back to static position without touching the bow, everything should be dead center. Okay, so we're in the center horizontally and vertically on the L bracket there, and we're dead center on the scope. So that means our first, second, and third axis is level. Now, one way to check this, a lot of archers like to check this at full draw. There is a leveling device called a Easy Third Axis Level, and this is made by Hamsky Archery Solutions. Now this directly mounts onto the front of the sight, and you can actually draw your bow, and then you want to reference this bubble on the Hamsky Third Axis leveling device with the bubble on your scope at full draw to make sure that they both match. And in doing so, if they both match at full draw, then your first, second, and third axis should be perfect. And I can tell you that with all the experience I've had with this leveling device, I've gone back and checked after I've set it the way I just showed you how to set it with the Hamsky device, and it's been dead on.